start in English because we are not equipped with our headsets for translation from Italian. So welcome to the press conference of The Girl with All the Gifts. I'm going to introduce the team, although their names are on the table, but let me introduce you at the end of the table to my right, the writer, Mike Carey. Actress Senya Nanua. To my left, actress Gemma Atata. And producer of the film, Camille Gatin. I'm just going to ask the first question, and then don't hesitate to raise your hand, of course. So I'm gonna ask the writer, Mike. So you wrote the screenplay, and it's adapted from your own short story of the same title. And it is a zombie film, but it's not like other zombie films. And maybe you can explain us why it's different, and maybe it has something to do with the character of Melanie, interpreted by Senya, and maybe also if the character is what started the writing process. Maybe the inspiration came once you imagine this character and how you imagine her.
Yes. So the short story had a very unusual genesis. I was invited to contribute to an anthology, a themed anthology of horror stories and supernatural stories, edited by Charlene Harris and Tony Kellner. Sorry, is this the right volume?
Can you hear? Can everybody hear?
No.
So a bit closer, maybe.
So I was invited to contribute to a themed anthology of horror stories by two American writers, Charlene Harris and Tony Kellner. And they do this every year, and the theme is always something very banal and simple and innocent and everyday. So one year it was family holidays, and another year it was home improvements. And so the brief is write a horror story or a supernatural story around this theme. And the theme for this year was school days. And having said that I would write a story, I couldn't think of a single decent idea. I sat for months staring at the wall. And then I woke up one day with the idea of Melanie in my mind, the idea of a little girl in a classroom writing an essay, the essay that every school child writes again and again and again, what I want to be when I grow up. Only we can see, and she can't, that growing up is not going to be an option for her because she's a zombie, she's one of the undead. I sent the story in, and then I just couldn't get the character out of my mind. I kept feeling that there was more to Melanie than that I'd actually written the first chapter of something much bigger. So I pitched it to my publishers, Little Brown, as a novel, and at the same time I pitched it to Camille as a screenplay, and we entered the development process. But I think, yes, the film depends very much on Melanie. It depends on telling a monster story from the point of view of the monster, and having the monster also be an innocent, a child.
Maybe Senya, you can tell us how you got involved in the film, how you got chosen for the part.
In Nottingham, I go to this club called the Television Workshop, and I go every Saturday. And it used to be run by Ian Smith, but now it's run by Nick Harvey. And Colin got involved, the Girl with All the Gifts company got involved with Television Workshop, and from there I got put forward for the audition. And then Colin came down to the Television Workshop, and I saw him and did a read with him, and then I got really successful from then on and successfully got the part.
Maybe the producer can tell us her view of that story, what you were looking for to cast Melanie.
Yeah, Colin had a very clear idea of what kind of little girl he wanted. He wanted someone very open and very raw, and it sounds impossibly romantic, but we met 500 girls, and Senya is the very last girl that we met. And at that point we were doing chemistry reads for Gemma and 5 other girls on the Monday, and Colin met Senya on Friday afternoon and called me and said, there's one more, you have to meet her. And so we just brought her down to London on the Monday, and then it went very quickly.
Gemma, what did you like in the screenplay? What did you like in the? I mean, it's really interesting character, very varied, both an action woman and the one who carries the emotions. But what attracted you to the project? What did make you want to participate in it?
I'm not usually a fan of the sci-fi or horror genre, but this script felt very humane and very character-driven, and I think it was really the relationship between Melanie and Helen that really attracted me. Also Colm, I met him, he came to see me in a play I was doing, which is completely different to this film, and I just had a really good feeling about him. I just felt like he would get something quite very, very raw and genuine out of the actors, and I think he did. But yeah, I just love the fact that it's about a young girl, and it doesn't feel sort of hard to relate to like a lot of sci-fi or genre movies do. This one has a real heart to it.
Well, a question that maybe all of you can answer. Maybe Mike.